17 years ago, a doctor came into the examination room and said, I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just going to simply say it. You have HIV. And as you expect, your mind explodes. I had been so careful, I thought, and now I was going to die of AIDS. But it was 1996 when the new classes of drugs that you've heard about today had just been released. So there was hope, but no one really knew what the long-term side effects would be, or if they would work long-term. I stand before you now, obviously, because they do. What's more, I have no detectable virus in my bloodstream, which you've heard a lot about today, this viral suppression. And, we've heard about it from an epidemiological standpoint, but from a personal perspective, it really matters. It makes me feel safer. It makes me feel healthier. I take very strict precautions in my life to protect people around me from HIV, but this is a great backup plan, knowing that the virus is contained. If you told me I would be here with you 17 years ago, I would never, ever have believed it, like Lawrence. I'm here for three reasons, and they are the kind of scientific advancements that amfAR has made, and NIH and under Tony's incredible leadership have made, and in particular the political leadership of many of the people in this room. People who had, and also people who were not in this room, who translated that will into the application of funding so that all of this work could get done. And not only that we could find, technical and biological resources, but also apply them around the world. But I'm also here because of the advocacy and courage of many, many people living with the disease who came before me. And I want to thank all of them for helping me to survive. We've learned a lot along the way, but one of the things that we've learned, and many of you in this room are responsible for helping teach the world this, we do better when people living with HIV, when we're not vilified. And we've helped people understand that people with HIV need the same kind of the same kind of kindness and access to health care that we afford people with other diseases. If you tell someone you have cancer or Alzheimer's, you often get help, support, maybe even get flowers. If you find the courage to tell someone that you're living with HIV in many parts of the world, or depending on your circumstances, you can get vilified, discriminated against, stigmatized, even criminalized or killed in some countries. So I feel very fortunate to be one of those people who doesn't live in a country where that's happening and to have the support of my friends and family. HIV, as we know, is a unique disease, socially speaking. The word AIDS conjures terror. And for too many, it implies wrongdoing that leads people to dislike and mistreat people with HIV. And, it took me a long time, almost 10 years, to come to terms with it myself. When I had sex, unprotected sex, which is how I got HIV, I didn't do anything wrong. I did something that most of our mothers, I think, did. And when I did it, maybe all of them, thank you, Paul, for that clarification. I wasn't really good at biology, I'm getting better. But what did I do? I had sex without a condom with someone who I trusted and cared for, and the virus happened to be present when that happened. That doesn't make me a bad person, it makes me a biologically unlucky one. I think we really need to think about HIV as what it is. It's a retrovirus, nothing more than that. It's a sexual disease in that it's sexually translated, but it's really not a sexual disease, it's a disease of the immune system. The fact that HIV has been linked for so long to the issue of sexuality, an issue that makes some people uncomfortable to discuss, hinders our ability to apply the medical and technical resources that we have, that we know can fix this. So I want us to think about that and keep this in perspective. It is just a virus, and we can talk about it. For 10 years I was silent and terrified that somebody would find out. I fought for my life without the help of my friends, my coworkers, my community. I pretended nothing was wrong when every day I woke up and I worried I would stay closer to my imminent death. Believe me, it still gives me pause to say the words, I have HIV. It still takes the spit from my mouth, actually, and you would think after all of this time it wouldn't, but it's harder to say in front of people I respect. I say it in front of people I respect because you have saved me, and you have saved people like me, and you have prevented millions of other people from being in a similar position. Because of all of your work, and the work of many like you not in this room, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to eliminate a horrendous horror from the planet. It will take your continued courage and additional funding for a while, but the investments you make today and the return on those investments will be disproportionately huge, both in terms of the impact on individual lives and on the health and security of the planet and the global economy. I was just in Tanzania with my boss, Lisa Cardi, our director in the UNAIDS Washington office, and some members of congressional staff, some of whom are here actually with us today. Thanks to you for being here. And every time I'm in the field, I'm reminded of two things. As Michelle said, U.S. leadership is critical now. The rest of the world is indeed watching to see what those who launched this response with such bravery and determination are going to do now. The U.S.'s ongoing commitment signals that this is a resolvable issue, which it is if we manage to redouble our efforts and apply the things that we know work. The second thing is that those who access the treatment and the care and the prevention truly deeply appreciate the generosity and leadership of those who support their survival. There's nothing like coming face to face with your mortality to appreciate life, as you can imagine, and many of you may know. But an even better feeling is to get a second chance at life and having that daily fear of death stripped from your immediate set of concerns. You can imagine the goodwill we feel towards people who have saved our lives. So on behalf of all of those who will never get a chance to thank you themselves, and on my own behalf, I express deep gratitude to all of you in this room for your past, current, and hopefully future leadership in the response to AIDS. The United States has done a great many great things, not least of which is showing the world that people, men, women, and children on all continents of the planet do not need to expire painfully, alone, disgraced, or forgotten. It was one thing to try to respond to the crisis when we had few answers, but now we have great knowledge and proof of concept that we can achieve a world of zero new infections, zero discrimination, and zero AIDS-related deaths. To fail to achieve what is possible now when doing so means the elimination of mass suffering would be unforgivable. I'm highly confident that the group of people assembled here has the power to end this once and for all. More than anything, I want to live to see the day when we reassemble to figure out not just how to keep people from contracting and dying from HIV/AIDS, but when we can do better than that, when we can vaccinate before and cure them of AIDS. Ending AIDS is a brass string that hangs just beyond our reach. So please, please, stretch yourself to grab it. Let's finish what we so boldly started so that one day no one ever has to hear a doctor walk into the room and say, I don't know how to tell you this. So I'm just going to tell you how to treat. Thank you very much.